So you've been working remotely since 2020 and you want to make it permanent? Well, today I'm going to share with you 5 tips to stay remote forever. Let's go. Hi, I'm Steve, and you're watching Live, Work, Live, the channel dedicated to remote workers and the work from anywhere movement. As many of you know, I work for a major advertising agency in New York City, and I decided last year, at the beginning of 2020, to relocate permanently 2.5 hours north of the city in beautiful Woodstock, New York. Now, what some of you might not know is that I didn't just make this change for myself. I also began a year-long campaign to lobby my company to make remote work and work from anywhere a policy for the entire company of more than 400 people. And just recently we announced that that is our plan moving forward. So how did I do this? I did it by using the 5 tips that we're going to get to right now. Okay, tip number 1 is very simple. You have to do good work. Now, this might seem obvious, but it's super essential. And I'm not just talking about doing your job and being a good employee. I'm talking about being an amazing employee, being a model remote citizen, being somebody who is indispensable at this time of crisis. Be the person on your team or in your organization that is the go-to resource for how to be effective remotely. Become the master of Zoom. Learn everything you can about Microsoft Teams. Get into the tips and the features and share them with your team. Upgrade your webcam. Get better lighting. And always be on camera. Let your bosses and your peers see how good you are at this, so they have no reason to question that you would continue to be excellent if you stay remote. Offer up suggestions for other programs or platforms that your company could use, such as Miro or Mural. Try to become a thought leader in your organization for how to maximize effective remote work and to build a remote culture. If you can accomplish this, your bosses and their bosses will realize how important you are and how you can help the entire organization evolve to become a more nimble and adapted organization for the remote future that is sure to come. Tip number 2, find allies. Remember that you are not alone. Recent studies show that the vast majority of employees want to stay remote either fully or significantly more than they used to. Identify the strongest performers, the most influential employees, and collaborate and share ideas with them. Not only will this help you find emotional support and mentorship, but it will make your position so much stronger. It's easy to say no to one person at a time. It's much harder to say no to a strong coalition that asks as a group. Tip number 3 is to plan beyond COVID. Look, it's obvious that COVID is the thing that set the wheels in motion. It's the thing that changed the conditions on the ground and made remote work possible for so many of us. But it cannot be the why you want to stay remote. This is why we see companies' return to office plans change on an almost daily basis. But we need to introduce some finality into this situation, some long-term planning that's not just about the day-to-day situation with the pandemic. You can do this by talking about the future of work in its broadest context and not be focusing on crisis management for the immediate present. You know, I think a great analogy that might be useful to consider is the rise of women in the workplace after World War II. It was the war that changed the conditions on the ground and made us need women to work in the factories. That's where we got these amazing images and icons of Rosie the Riveter as women rose to the occasion and took their rightful place in the workplace. Because once the precedent had been set, it was impossible to roll it back. I think we're going to deal with something very similar with remote work. And by expressing your point of view in this broader strategic context, it'll help your employers understand the strategic underpinnings of your argument. Hey there, let me know if you're getting anything from these tips. If so, just click that like button. It'll help other people like us find this video. Thanks so much. Tip number 4 is to set conditions and prepare solutions. Look, it's true. Bad managers are going to always hate remote work. They hate losing the control, they hate giving you the power, and they're really insecure about themselves and their ability to know what you're doing on a daily basis if you're not within their eyesight. But you know what? Some good managers have reservations as well. They worry about things like maintaining culture, about training and onboarding new employees, and about innovation and collaboration being lost in a fully remote environment. So you need to realize that responsibility and freedom go hand in hand. And what you can do is have prepared a set of answers to these very common concerns. Perhaps you're willing to commit to coming into the office on days when clients are present. Or perhaps you can commit to periodic team meetups, either in the office or off-site, in order to maintain interpersonal connections and build a corporate culture. Maybe you can even devise purely digital ways of achieving all of these things. But be ready for your bosses, even the good ones, to have concerns and to question what if. Now, you should never lead with these negotiating points. They will come up naturally in your discussion with your employer. But have your answers ready. Be prepared to answer them thoroughly and thoughtfully. This will show that you've really thought things through, not just from your point of view and what's best for you, but actually what's good for your boss and what's good for the company as a whole. And it will put you in a much stronger position and actually gain you some respect. But at the end of the day, remember your goal and do not negotiate away your freedom. Okay, it's time for tip number 5. Be prepared to quit. Now, we're hearing so much in the news these days about the Great Resignation. As we know, thousands and thousands of employees are really unhappy with their situation and are quitting in droves. And for some of you in high demand industries, if you have certain skill sets that people are always looking for, it might be easier for you to just take the job that's available to you that's already remote. But before you jump, I want you to think about the opportunity you have at your current employer. Think about the benefit you could have to your own career and those of your colleagues if you can actually help transform your organization into one that is ready for the remote future. What kind of impact would that have on your life, on your friends' lives, and on your industry if yet one more employer is ready for the future of work? Well, for you, it would definitely raise your status within your organization. You would become a thought leader on this very important topic. You would be a hero to all of your coworkers, and you might just have the best chance of really custom crafting a work style that best suits your needs and your lifestyle. But at the end, if you're dealing with a really intractable boss or company, a company that is just not ready for the future, and you have options, be prepared to use them. But please do this as a last resort. And if you do quit, make your resignation send a clear message to your employer that they lost you and your talents because of their failure to fully embrace the future of work. So there you have it. I hope you find these tips useful. Look, I realize that my individual experience is not yours. We are all on this journey in a different way and coming from different places. So if there's something I missed or something you'd like to share about your own unique experience, please do so in the comments below. I promise to respond to as many of you as I can. And if you like this topic in this video, please give it a thumbs up so that other people can find it. And finally, if you'd like to know more about the future of work and follow my journey, go ahead and hit subscribe and the reminder button. New videos drop every week. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And remember, folks, work is not a place, it's a pursuit. Take care. But as somebody who can help transform the